Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to this really bad lighting. Apologies, I'm having a really lazy day today. I'm just in t-shirt and pyjama bottoms and I've just got my hair pulled back, no makeup on. I'm having a chill day, lazy day, and it was a perfect opportunity to film some videos. I do have to go and do a food shop, but the supermarket isn't open yet because it's Sunday, and I was like, I need to sit and film loads of YouTube videos. So if you've watched any of my previous that I've uploaded, you'll know that I have the sun in a really not great space at the moment for filming in this room. I don't want to film in any other room because they're not tidy and they don't look as bookish as this room. So I thought I would just come on and do some filming, and you're gonna have to put up with it. It's just real. The sun is rising and it's like right coming in these windows, and I've had to draw my curtains, but my curtains are pink, so I get this lovely pink tinge to my face. But I'm not going to apologize for it any longer. I'm gonna do a little video today about my May, am I getting the month right? Yes, May TBR. Now, May, for the theme on the book club, I run a book club on Facebook with my best friend Daisy May. It's called the Daisy and Bee Book Club. I talk about it in pretty much every video because it is our baby. We have done a slightly different theme. If you don't know, the book club doesn't have a specific set book every month, but we set themes and prompts. And this month in May, we are doing a self-care prompt. So we're kind of trying to give people the opportunity to really think about their self-care, looking after themselves, and not just reading, but also you know, whether that means for you self-care is having a really nice warm bubble bath with like lots of bath treats and doing a face mask, or whether self-care is just sitting outside in the sun reading, or you know, self-care is very different for lots and lots of different people. So I am actually taking a bit of a different sort of interpretation of the theme. Lots of people are reading specific books because that's what they kind of think of as, that's their kind of self-care, is reading a chick lit or a self-help book itself, or a self-care kind of book itself. And I've decided to take a completely different stance with it. So for me, I am planning on not having a TBR. I say that, I've got 3 books out in front of me, but I'll discuss that in a minute. I am planning on mood reading, picking up what I want to read as I go along, and just allowing the reading to be a self-care itself, like an act of self-care itself. I can often set myself TBRs and sometimes feel like the pressure to read certain books and specific books because I should be, and the only books I'm setting myself to read are the kind of obligation books I have this month. So I'm not setting myself any other books on my TBR, and I'm literally going to read kind of what I feel like I want to read. I'm not massively strict with my TBRs that I set anyway. I think one of the books that's on this TBR was on my TBR that I set last month, and I didn't read it. But I tend to kind of use them as more of a guidance, but I'm really taking that one step further this month, and I'm just not setting myself anything else other than, like I say, the kind of obligation reads that I have. So my plan is to mood read. I have an idea of a few books that I would quite like to read next month, but I'm not even going to talk about them in this video because I feel like as soon as I start talking about them, that's pressure. And I know it sounds really weird because some people probably think, oh, it's just reading, but I do put pressure on myself to read certain things once I have said I'm going to read them. And I do also have Diana Gabaldon's Go Tell the Bees That I'm Gone. I have had this on the go for so long, and I feel like it would be massive self-care to actually get this finished. I'm currently on page 553, which is like, I've read the majority of it. I'd say I'm probably about 2/3 of the way through, maybe not quite 2/3, but I'm over halfway through it, and I feel like it would be, like I say, massive. I've just hit myself in the head with this. I think this would be kind of an act of self-care itself to just leisurely read this. So that's kind of like my thought process, but alas, I do have some bookish obligations, which I'm not mad about because I like having a little bit of structure, but just not too much. So I do have A Man Called Ove, I never know how to pronounce this one, by Frederick Backman on my TBR. I have this as a book to read with one of my in-person real life book clubs. It's quite short, and it was my suggestion to read this. This copy was actually very kindly gifted to me by Lorna from Book Lover Lorna for my birthday. So thank you, Lorna. And yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this, and I'll be running the discussion session and like kind of doing all the questions and stuff. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. I think that in itself is kind of self-care, like that's ultimate self-care for me, because I'm such a nerd. I love sort of that sort of thing. So I'm really looking forward to this, but I can't not read it because it's my pick and it's book club. So have to read that. I don't have to, but I'm going to read it. And then obviously I have obligations with the series read along, which again, I'm not mad about at all. I'm really looking forward to reading these next installments. So I have the second installment of Red Queen series, The Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard. I'm really intrigued to pick this up, and this will be the one I pick up first in the month of the series read-alongs, because this will be discussed on the 15th of May, which is like midway through the month. I'm really looking forward to reading the second instalment because so much was kind of left up in the air by the first instalment, and unfortunately I missed the first instalment discussion. I got my dates mixed up, didn't realise that Good Friday was the day that it was being discussed on, and I missed the first discussion. So obviously I'm going to make sure I'm there for the second discussion, and I can't wait to see how the second book unfolds, where we kind of end up. And there's so much, like I said, up in the air from the first book. So I'm really, really, really looking forward to reading this one. And then in the second half of the month, leading up to the 1st of June, I will be reading Heir of Fire by Sarah J. Maas, which is the third book in the Throne of Glass series. I've got a funny feeling that this starts the point of where I had read up to. So I don't think I've read this book before. I think I got up to starting this book and then for whatever reason didn't pick it up. I think from my previous read of trying to read the Throne of Glass series, I only read the first two, I'm pretty sure. So this is interesting going into the first book in the Throne of Glass series that I haven't got any inclination as to what's going to happen in it. I'm looking forward to it. I've enjoyed the Throne of Glass series so far, but obviously the discussion for Crown of Midnight will be on the 1st of May. And that book I did kind of feel like was a kind of a bit of a bridged book, but like a bridge book, so bridging the gap between the first and the third, and I do feel like there wasn't an awful lot going on in it, but I'm looking forward to where this goes. And I've heard like from this point onwards the series like massively like improves, well, not massively improves, but like it just gets better and better from this point. We will go back to the Assassin's Blade after this one, because from every reading order that we looked at, it was kind of advised to read the first three and then read Assassin's Blade, because you'll appreciate some of the stories in Assassin's Blade more, knowing a little bit more about them from the main books. So I'm really looking forward to, like I say, reading my first one that I haven't already read and going in kind of blind and not knowing anything about it. There was a lot of Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight that I couldn't remember, but you still have an inkling of kind of knowing what's going on. So yeah, I'm looking forward to starting something afresh and going on further with the series. And this marks the point of me making progress with the series, if that makes sense. So like I say, a really chilled month for me, like setting a 3-book TBR. I do have another book club that I go to, in-person book club, but we haven't even met. We've kind of almost lost a month from the toing and froing about choosing the book, because people weren't at the first session that I went to, so it kind of took longer to decide the next book, and we've kind of almost lost a month. So there may well be another book that I kind of feel like I have to read for my second in-person book club that I go to, but I think it's good to just have like a base, and then everything else that I read, maybe this, And anything else I pick up is just purely going to be me just having fun, reading what I want to read. And like I say, I have some inclinations of what I might want to read, but I'm just going to do a complete mood reading month around these 3 books. So, quite a laid back one, quite a chilled one. I'm looking forward to May, and I'm also looking forward to having some other sort of like self-care kind of themes running through the month as well. So making sure I'm doing my skincare, which I know sounds really silly, but it's something that I kind of forget to do, and actually really appreciate it when I do it, and feel so much better when I do. And maybe doing a couple of face masks, and actually making kind of a conscious effort to sit down and have some me time reading. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. What have you got on your May TBR? I'd love to hear about the books that you plan on reading. Are you reading along with any of the series read-alongs? I'd love to hear about that down below in the comments. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!